We were just saying that we're nervous because
I know we're all
here's the thing.
nervous and excited.
Because
That's what your body doesn't know the difference.
And we've known each other for a fucking minute, dude.
10 years or something like that.
Wow.
Okay, not 10. I haven't been doing stand-up that long.
How long you been doing it?
7 years.
Yeah, 7 years is probably right then.
About
Okay, so
7 years.
close
Yeah.
to a decade.
Round it up, dude. Make it more profound and
No
impactful.
way. I'm not fucking good enough yet to say 10 years. I still try to push it down and say
Yeah, and we all
5.
missed a couple years because of COVID
I
too.
know,
So you
right?
can almost say
Subtract.
5 years.
It's really been 3 years, dude.
It's been like a month.
It's been, I've known you for a month.
Spiritually, it's our first day.
Yeah.
So y'all have known each other for 7 years. We've known each other for like 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Love
Yeah.
it.
That's a good chunk of time.
I guess we should introduce who we're talking to.
Yeah, God, such a fan. Even you're the fucking homie, but also such a fan. Just to watch you
that's kind.
become the fucking dude,
Yeah, the man of all
the
men.
big man of all men, JT Parr.
JT
What's up,
Parr.
guys? Glad to be here. Excited, nervous, ready to do it. Let's go.
Ready to
You
fucking
guys
do
honestly
it, dude.
should pause the podcast right now and go watch Unstable because JT's in it.
Yeah, I'm
And you
acting in
fucking-
something.
Yeah,
Dude,
you're fucking killing
I started it the other night to see you guys.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, hell
it was
yeah.
fun. It was really fun. I think I got a lot better at acting throughout the course of it. Like I remember after my first take, the director came up to me and he's like, "Have you done much acting?" And I was like, it was his way of being like, "Dude, you have to do something." And I think I've figured out acting a little bit more. I still don't think I'm very good at it, but I used to think because when you go to acting classes, they're like, you need to know your motivation, you need to know your background. It's like you don't need to know any of that. All you have to do is like say it funny and make it a little memorable. Just be wacky and
When you're
wacko.
filming,
Yeah, like when the camera's on, because you only say like 5 words and the other actor's not even there. You're like staring at the camera, pretending they're there.
yeah.
Like it's not really about emotionally connecting. Just like say something loud and funny and be kind of humiliate yourself, and that'll be good.
It's crazy
giving
how much
Daniel Day-Lewis.
money.
Exactly,
it is.
same process.
It's crazy how much money people spend on acting classes and shit for like, it's a completely different experience when you're actually like on set. than
Completely
in a
different.
class.
It's totally, and I kind of think the acting in class is like
For
more
the-
real. Yeah, and a little more
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah.
And they're making you like confront who you are a little bit more. They're like, you're afraid to go here. And you're like, I am afraid.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah,
acting
you're doing
teacher
a
just
scene
face
about
it.
like lollipops. They're like, okay. Now, speaking of lollipops, did your dad do something to you when you were a kid? And you're like, oh, well, I guess we're going to get into it.
Guess we're there. Yeah.
They
then
made
you're
my
on
friend
set and it's
Andrew, my friend Andrew's a really handsome guy, was always like a man about town with women. And then he came home from acting class one day and he's like, my acting teacher says I'm gay. And then I was like, well, what? And he always was like, he like me and him, we would always like joke and like kiss and stuff like that. So he was very comfortable. He's very comfortable with himself. But I was like, what do you think? And he was like, I have to think about it. I was like, well,
Did
I was
he
like,
come
it's
out
good.
or is he still straight?
No, he just likes women. He just like has like a lot of dimensions to
You know
him.
what?
But I
Maybe
was like,
he's
don't
just
let them.
confident and
He is.
comfortable with
But
himself.
you know,
He's
it's
super
also-
comfortable in his skin. He
And
is.
it's like an actor thing too, you know. You gotta be well-rounded to be able to tap in. I think.
Yeah, you got to access all parts of yourself and not be
on.
afraid.
You said
Right.
we used
And
to
he's not
kiss and
afraid.
stuff.
Yeah, we used to kiss once in a while. It was funny.
Yeah, it's nice.
Not even
dude.
for class, just for friends.
Just for yeah.
Yeah, always with people around. I think that was like our safety net. It would have been too intimate one-on-one.
yeah,
but
for sure.
In the car, he's
we're like, we're
dropping you
doing
off.
it for the bit, dude. It's the bit.
Yeah.
And everyone's like,
It's
what's
so
the
funny.
bit? I'm like, well, if I explain it, it's not funny anymore. It just works. It just works.
I remember, dude, I went to theater school and I remember you'd have to like, God, theater school is so intense because they make you picture like the worst thing that's ever happened to you, you know, like to go into a scene.
Mhm.
And our voice teacher would have us do these things where we'd have to talk from our diaphragm. And it was like, I'm like, well, who is this for? Like,
the
I'm
teacher.
not gonna, you know, like,
Yeah, you're not going to use that.
I'm not gonna use that on if I get booked on fucking It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You know what I
No,
mean?
they're
Like,
just going to want you to be wacky and wild and
Yeah.
Yeah.
put some energy into it.
Yeah, they don't want to hear your fucking diaphragm.
I
No.
feel like acting teachers are always like, yeah, and when I was on set, because I've been on set, and
love
did
that.
I mention I was on set? Because I was, and when I was on set, don't be afraid to just take up all the time. Tell the director to go fuck himself, then say that you need a day. I'm like, honey, I don't think anyone's going to be doing that, and I think there's a reason why you were on set one time because no one likes that. But
Wait, so for your, because okay, was this like your first acting role? Because you guys
I did an
have been
episode
doing
of Hawaii 5-0.
Nice.
And I was
Hell yeah.
I was very stiff on it. And like when I was on set, everybody else was acting so big. Like they're
Yeah.
all like, I think we have coordinates on where the target is. I was like, that's gonna look so stupid on camera. And then when I saw the show, I was like, that looks really good. And everything I'm doing looks like I was just like, what up? Like I wasn't acting. And then my dad kind of was like, dude, bro, step up. And then so on this one, I made a very conscious
Can we
attempt to
find the
like
clip of
be
that?
wackier. I really tried to whack it up a little more.
Fuck.
And it was fun. It was the tone of the show is like bigger and kind of like it's kind of like a chaotic energy. So I think it worked better in that. And I like the show, and everybody was really, really nice.
Yeah, the show's great.
Oh, thank you. Good. I'm glad you like it.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm glad you whacked it up.
I whacked it up.
I'm so glad you whacked it up.
It was tough, dude. I was in the trailer and I was like, I had a trailer, which was awesome. And then I was like, I got to whack it up. And I was like looking in the mirror. I was like, whack it up, dude. Whack it up.
Just fucking whack it up.
So I just drank like 5 coffees and I was like, saying my lines
Wacky
with
stuff.
Okay, so you didn't
with
have an acting coach. This is all just pure you.
We did.
Okay.
Chad loves to rehearse. He's great that way. He's big on preparation. So I'll always follow his lead because I'm always like, no, I'll just figure it out when it happens. But he's like, no, we have to practice. And then so I practice too because he says it's good for us.
Okay, and I love that.
Because you guys were just doing like your fucking like Chad and JT go deep, right?
A little bit, yeah. I think we were like,
and that's what
to me. There's like a lot of dimensions in it, but yes, that's exactly what we're.
But that's like what you started with, and then all of these other things.
Oh yeah,
like right, like how
not
you
on
got
the
into
show.
everything.
She's talking about like in
yeah, sorry,
like
I got
your career.
sensitive. Yeah. No, actually,
you're like, well,
they're
Gabby,
really
no,
different
there's so many
characters.
choices. No, but you started with that show, and then it like blossomed into all of these other things.
Yeah, that's right. I think John Lowe, the guy who created the show, he saw us doing our prank stuff and then was like, oh, these guys would be funny in this show.
Because you guys just met doing fucking stand up and you're like, we should start this thing.
Yeah, how did that come to be?
We have like a folktale backstory where we met as babies at Hoag Hospital and it was an instant connection. And then we did a 4-hose beer bong in high school and I wasn't even supposed to be on one of the tubes, but this guy Landon had to step out because he was on antibiotics. And then we reconnected in LA doing stand up and we were like the two broiest guys. So it's just a natural.
Birds of a feather.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, my girlfriend's like my romantic soulmate, but he is my. He's like my platonic soulmate.
Yeah.
He really is. Like we.
You guys have been together for a minute. Dude.
Yeah, we've been on each other's hip for like 6 or 7 years
since
now.
we started stand up. Because I remember meeting you guys at the same time.
He's the best. I can't say a bad word. Like he'll do little things that annoy me, and I do a lot more stuff that's annoying. But in terms of like his
nice balance,
his character is impeccable. Like I can't say a bad thing about his character. No, he's such an honorable, good, hardworking dude. He's the best.
That's making me emotional, dude.
Yeah, I'm about to cry.
You want to kiss him right now.
And you know what? That's how it is being a human. Sometimes we get on each other's nerves, and that's what it is, dude.
Dude, totally. Because we're just always together. So we have different ways of doing things.
Like us. We're always together. We live together.
But then if me and him spend like 3 days apart, I start calling him and I'm like, what's up, dude? And we don't even talk. We just sit on the phone together and I get the comfort. He comforts me.
That's cute.
Yeah, that's really cute. I love that.
He's a good dude.
I love that for you guys.
Thank you.
I remember, because I remember fucking when he lived in West Hollywood and like driving him back like after open mics and stuff. It's so crazy, dude. The shit that like where
the
we
lifestyle
started.
we were in, it was crazy.
It's crazy like where we started and then like where things are now. And only really in 7 years. It's a lot. Yeah. Like a lot has changed.
We've been through a lot of life.
Been through a lot of life, dude.
I do miss the lifestyle of the open mics, like just doing 3 in a night and having friends sign you up and
hating
yourself for bombing. It was really chaotic.
And you're always bombing in front of the same fucking 15 people. You're always singing like the lyric Hyperion.
When did you stop doing mics?
Like only like a year ago. Okay. I kept doing them for I just liked going to them. I liked the hang. I liked.
It was fun hang.
And I don't even know if I was working on bits as much as I was like, I just want to get some shit off my chest. This seems like a good place to do it. You know what? The last one I did was right after the show came out. I hadn't had a panic attack in a while, but I could feel one like brewing up because I had such high expectations for how the show would land that I went to Hollywood Comedy and I did the open mic there.
Not Hollywood Comedy.
And I think I was stoned and I was really hungover and I did my set and I was like on the verge of a panic attack the entire set. And then afterwards I just left. I didn't even watch everybody else's set. Oh my God. It was a really rude thing to do.
Whatever, dude.
And I went to my brother's and we just chucked the football and I calmed down.
And I love that.
You old chucking the football. Sorry, I'm
dude, it works, bro. The back and forth. What have you done when's the last time you did a mic?
Jesus. I think the last time I did one was honestly summer of 2022.
Really?
Because, yeah.
It's about the same for me then.
Yeah.
We all kind of stopped. I think about it. So I'm like, should I go do them? But like, I don't know.
They're intense.
You
hear a lot of fucked up shit.
Here's the thing.
You really do. And I go to AA. Open mics are worse, dude.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of the same kind of trauma from both.
Absolutely.
More palatable though, surprisingly in AA. But I feel like
a lot more mental illness in mics.
Oh yes, but I feel like I I feel like mics obviously like are good to like go get a bit down or for like writing, and obviously in the beginning it's important, but then at a certain point I think it can start making you second guess certain things, like, oh, did this joke not have legs, like, oh fuck, and then you go to a real audience where they're actually listening and engaged, and you're like, oh, it did. So you can kind of like pick up, I don't know. There's pros and cons.
Because you're
real people,
for comics.
yeah, real people laugh at different things than
and like
than
the comics will laugh at like, and then you start like developing bad habits.
Yeah, because then comics like all know who you are, so then they just like laugh at you when you like just
out
say
of familiarity.
Exactly, and then you go on in front of an actual audience and they don't laugh at the stuff comics laugh at, and you're like, oh yeah, because we don't know each other.
Yeah, we have no. I didn't know that's part of your backstory.
Yeah,
and then it's a lot of like, it's I found that the jokes at open mics were the best are always the darkest ones and the most like
so true,
personally debilitating. They're like get help.
Yeah,
like, oh,
God,
sorry.
that's so fucking true.
Yeah,
you know, I speaking of the AA thing, I'm in SA.
Hell yeah,
and
dude.
I was at like one of those places where they run multiple meetings out of them.
Yeah, which one?
It was on the west side. I forget the name of it. It was like upstairs.
Okay.
But I accidentally walked into an AA meeting and it was so much more fun than an SA meeting. And I've never been to an AA meeting. It kind of bummed me out. I was like, oh, there's a lot more energy in here.
Yeah, there is.
It seems like you guys have a better time.
It's a good time. Because, I do SLAA. I haven't done it in a long time. Like, since I've like committed to AA, I've stayed out of those rooms because I was like, let me just focus on staying sober.
One at a time, for sure.
One at a time. But definitely AA is way more fun.
I heard that AA is like the most fun. I'm in Al-Anon, and it's just like a bunch of crying.
I've been in Al-Anon before. Yeah, that one.
Sad vibes.
That might be the most bummerific.
Honestly,
that might be the saddest.
I bet
because they didn't get any
depressing.
of the fun.
No
people
fun.
in AA and SA. There's always some people who are like, I used to do all this crazy shit, and you're like, yeah, I'm glad you're better, but that does sound like fun. In Al-Anon, you were just on the receiving end of the fun.
And I was watching him do all this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Isn't it funny as like you become an adult, everybody's just in 12-step. We all just figure out where the fuck
in LA.
Gotta work.
Yeah,
in
LA for sure.
I was in Houston and I went to an SA meeting out there and it was lean. Like there wasn't a lot of people.
Really?
Stories weren't as good.
Yeah. Are you still like actively going?
No. I haven't been to an SLA meeting in like 3 months. I do like going to it, but sometimes I find it triggering for me too.
I get that.
Yeah, you know what it was? I was kind of a bitch about it. Like, I had one bad meeting where I felt like no one was paying attention to me. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm done for a while. And there was like one guy I'd been like buddies with, and like he was butting it up to another guy. And I was like, dude, this shit's like drumming too much up for me. I was like, I'm just gonna take a little, but I'll go back if I get a little.
Like, I'm not gonna be cheated on in front of my fucking face.
Yeah, exactly. If I get a little squirrely, my behavior's been good. So if I get a little squirrely, I always go back.
I get that. And what's nice, the rooms are always there. You can always.
They'll always be there.
You can always go back. I stopped SLAA just like mostly, like I said, because I wanted to dive more into AA, but it was too depressing and I couldn't go to mixed meetings because they're just too much.
It's tough.
Because you guys are in there talking about you just jerk off
like with men and women?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like an AA.
You've been to a meeting with me. No, I'm kidding. And then,
because guys just talk about, they're just, I can't stop jerking off. And then women are like, I can't stop fucking men that
like
don't
loving
love
people.
Me. Yes.
Yeah. It is a different thing. I would hear people kind of flirt in there in an indirect way too.
Oh,
of course.
Of course.
Yeah, it's tough because it's like you're in front of the thing that is the addiction.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like a guy would be like, I did it again. I gave her the keys to the Lambo. I let her use my boat. I took her to Belize. I'm like, what? And then a girl would be like, this like super pretty lady would be like, I did it again. I just totally gave my body over to him. I let him do whatever he wanted to me. And then the two of them would like look at each other. I'd be like, what's going on in here?
And then she's all tan. You're like, how was Belize? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, I did it again. I went to Belize. I let him do whatever he wanted. I was like, do you guys know each other?
Like, this is happening in real time.
Wait, what a coincidence. I was like, you guys will have a lot to talk about.
But at least they're showing up.
And they're showing up.
They are showing up. I do respect that.
And I respect that too.
It takes some effort.
Yeah, and it does, dude.
Yeah, on the days where you don't want to, that's tough.
It is. I raised my hand today. I didn't want to raise my hand. Sharing was fucking hard, dude.
Did you have a good share? Did you get some laughs?
No, I didn't get any laughs.
Bummer,
wow.
dude.
I know, but I tried to keep this one not laughy. You didn't want to perform. Didn't want to perform, but Matt LeGrand?
Yeah, of course.
So he's not breaking his anonymity, whatever. He's openly in the program, but he shared today. And he talked about how he would get so blackout drunk that he started wearing adult diapers when he knew that he was going to get blackout because he'd piss in his pants.
Dude, that's a beast move right there.
And nobody laughed. And then he texted me during the meeting being like, wow, no one laughed. He was so bummed. After the meeting, he's like, fuck that. I felt like I was sharing to a brick fucking wall. Nobody laughed.
Well, because did they not laugh because they felt like if they laughed at it, they would make him think that behavior is cute when they want him to think it's actually
or maybe
kind of a harbinger
maybe
of
maybe
bad
they actually thought he
lifestyle.
was being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right.
And it can be difficult because you do look for laughs and then you're like, no, you can laugh at this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he should have been crying when he said it, and I think that would have
Then
made
it
people
would've-
laugh. Like, I swear,
yeah.
it got so bad. I
Maybe.
was wearing diapers. I'm a grown man in diapers. I'd be like,
then we're fucking
But
laughing.
see,
Yeah.
you take that to the Al-Anon rooms, and we would all just be like, "Oh my god!"
a lot of sensitivity in there. It's very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the empathy is really flowing in there.
It's deep, bro. It's deep.
There have been times where I've gotten laughs in shares and then I'll write it down because I'm like, I've got to laugh. But then it's like, is this only going to get laughs between alcoholics or will this resonate with,
Yeah.
a regular audience?
I might ask you guys to pull this, but
Yeah.
the crazy thing about SAA too is it's such a wide range of ailments within like the sexual umbrella. So like you get people who just watch too much porn, and I would put that on like the lighter side, although I know it's heavy for them.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you get like proper sex offenders who have done like some
Yep.
darker things. And one day I had a killer share. I was just ripping for all 3 minutes, just wall to wall bangers, and got tons of laughs. And then
love
afterwards,
that.
this guy came up to me and he's like, "Hey, I really needed that, man. You really made me feel better today, and I needed that." And then he was like a molester. And I was like,
Oh my god!
and I was like, "Yeah, happy for you. Good, happy for you." I'm like, "That's
my god!
good, I think." Good.
So glad I
Yeah.
could make you laugh.
Yeah, I'm
dude.
like, I'm glad I helped
I'm
you
glad I made
feel
the
better.
molester
You don't
have
feel
a brighter day.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't feel too good, right? Like you want to celebrate or anything.
You're not going to go like,
Yeah,
you know.
you're not going to take all this excited energy out into the world and put it in a place where it doesn't belong, right? And
keep it to yourself.
I was like, I just tackled him, put him in handcuffs. I was like, he's getting squirrely over here. Get him down.
You
Get him
can't let
down.
those molesters
felt
have too
enough.
much fun.
No,
Yeah.
God,
you can't.
no.
You got to keep them.
You have to rob them of their joy.
yeah.
But then the sick part of me, as you're telling me that, I'm like, that's a great joke, or maybe like a great scene.
It's
so you
a
got to write
fucking
that. You
great
got to pocket
joke.
Yeah,
that.
I might have to do it on stage.
Yeah.
Thank you, dude.
You got laughs here.
I'm gonna bring it up tonight.
Oh hell yes!
This is the feedback I needed. Let's go.
we got you. Okay, we got
Let's
stories.
like get into our It's horrible
Yeah.
bosses.
So
today.
people wrote us
I love
stories
that.
about
Yeah,
horrible
It's a great
bosses.
topic.
It's good.
JT, does anything off the top of your head pop in? Like, did you ever have did you ever work for someone that was atrocious, or did you even have like a horrible coworker?
Yeah, all of the above. I had bosses who were butt heads, but now even in retrospect, I'm like, none of them were super. And then I did have people who like abused their power
So many
because
of
I saw the
that.
topic, so I started like thinking on it. And but the people who were abusing I was like an intern, and they were like a production assistant. It wasn't like the CEO of this like massive company was just like abusing me, and there was nowhere to turn. It was like people with like fractionally more power than me
Yeah.
were like kind of lording it over me, but I'm still friends with all those people.
Yeah.
And I don't think they were even doing it in a malicious way. I think they just had like shit just rolls downhill. Someone was dumping on them and then they would dump on me.
Right.
So nothing too, and honestly, like the place where I worked, everyone partied together. It was kind of like college for me. So people were going to make mistakes that way and do stupid things.
Right.
So none of it was too crazy. I'm trying to think. No.
Did you ever work in like customer service?
No.
You're never in the food industry?
No. I worked as a bartender for like a week, and that was it.
And
Where
honestly,
at?
that's enough.
At a place in Virginia called Beer Run.
Wait, aren't you from? You're from here though,
I'm
aren't
from
you?
Orange County.
Why
I
are you
lived
in
on the East
Virginia?
Coast for a couple years.
Okay.
Hmm
Mm.
What were you
And-
doing out there?
I was going to junior college, studying
Junior college?
film,
Okay.
got into stand-up.
You started stand up out there?
Like barely. I was doing the comic strip in this other place, Eastville Comedy Club, just their open mics
Word,
like once a
okay.
week. I'd get fucking hammered beforehand. I might
Yeah.
have stolen the occasional joke from a famous comedian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a real piece of shit. And then
Accountability.
and then I did have a job out there. I worked at my dad got me a job, a real she job. I was working at a modeling agency / reality TV company.
Fun.
Okay.
And I had 2 intern like coworkers.
Okay.
And I ended up punching the guy, and I tried to make out with the girl. So
Wait, at the same time?
different nights. But I remember my parents were actually not ashamed of me. My dad was like, "Yeah, you should have punched that guy."
Yeah,
And
nice.
it's kind of fun. You try to make out with her. Bad influence. And then, but I remember my dad's friend was like, "You sound like a total liability." And that resonated. I was like, okay, I need to be better at my next job.
Yeah.
So yeah, no
okay.
bad bosses. I think I was probably the problem.
You were
there.
the one bringing the problems.
Okay.
He did
bringing the
deserve
heat.
it. The guy was very rude to me.
What kind of reality shows do they shoot in Virginia?
No, this was in New York. So I was spending
okay.
this summer in Virginia and just working at my cousin's place. It doesn't even count.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't count.
Okay.
And then,
okay.
But yeah,
Strike it from the record.
but no real bad bosses. I've been pretty lucky.
Okay.
I was an assistant. I was a bad assistant. I'd send him to like the wrong Starbucks for a meeting.
Yeah.
And he was like a butthead, but I was also an idiot. So
So, you know.
I was just ill-suited for the job.
I feel like
so you're
people in
bringing the chaos.
entertainment are really bad at regular person jobs. Like when you want to when you're like, you know, a fucking comedian or actor, whatever, I feel like regular jobs, we're not very good at them.
The last day job that I had, I was a waitress. And when I got hired, they asked that question, like, what's your greatest strength and your biggest weakness? And I was like, my greatest strength is consistency. You're going to get the same amount of work every single shift, no matter how good or bad I feel. I'm not going to be the best worker. I'm not going to be the worst. I'm going to give you average.
Honest.
but
Sounds
consistent.
real.
And he was like, okay, well, what's your greatest or your weakness? And I was like, my weakness is I don't want to do this job. I hate this. This is not my dream. And that's the energy I will bring. I was like, I will boost morale with my charisma, but I will also lower your spirit with how stressed out I'm going to fucking make you. And he was like, I don't think anyone's ever been that honest. You're hired. And I was like, are you serious? Because I kept on going on all these interviews for like
really
juice bar,
funny.
restaurant, and I kept not getting hired. And then they hired me. And then
Yeah, because you sound out of a movie in that monologue.
Yeah, really.
Like,
That
that's
was
like
scripted.
act one of like the female Jerry Maguire. That's like Carrie
Yeah,
Maguire.
right? Like the quirky
I-
lead.
Yeah, you're like,
been
this person's
trying-
real. They're chasing something
Yeah. Like,
authentic.
okay, yeah. It's like, that's what I channeled. And then it drove me to the point of almost insanity. And then the
I almost
pandemic
went
hit.
nuts at some jobs because I was bad at jobs because I just don't have a good logistical mind. And
Yeah, me either.
I like
Terrible.
progressed a little bit in production where I was like doing locations and you have to be like on top of stuff.
No.
And I had to build maps on the computer.
No.
Whoa.
And
Kind of cool though.
my
No.
ex, who you guys know, she helped me build them, and really sweet of her. And
Really sweet of her.
and then I just started doing Adderall to be better at the job, and then I was just losing my mind.
And then you're just addicted to
I was gonna have a psychotic break.
Yeah.
So I had to
Jesus.
kind
It
of,
does that.
yeah, but I was good when I was on the Adderall.
Fuck
like
yeah.
I was
You were
kicking
making maps, huh?
I was
Yeah.
making maps, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I
You
was
were like a
in-
map
I
savant.
I was in Minority Report. I was like twisting things and stretching them, throwing them over here.
Dude.
I had unlocked some real Matrix power.
Yeah. I fucking believe that.
I was sharp, but
Yeah.
it was not sustainable.
Fuck.
The only reason I ever kept any jobs was because they liked my personality.
Yeah.
But they would, all of my bosses consistently would be like, you are a terrible employee. You're the worst employee. The only reason you keep these jobs is because like you
You're
make us
fun.
laugh. Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
is
That's a
are you
strength.
easy to be around?
Yeah.
Because most jobs aren't that hard.
Yeah, they're not.
If they're like
Spiritually.
lower,
Difficult.
they're hard on the
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
are.
Because you start to think you are that job. You're like, does everyone think of me as this thing when I want to be this other bigger
fucking
thing?
barista.
The way
Mhm.
also
Yeah.
that people speak, I mean, especially being like an assistant or like an intern, like on sets, I'm sure you get the same similar-ish treatment to you're like, bottom of the ladder. And then being in the service industry, people like talk to you like actual garbage.
Oh
and it
my
is hard
gosh.
the longer you spend in that given field, it's hard not to like internalize that. You're like looking in the mirror, you're like, am I a piece of fucking shit?
Mhm.
What
Is
the
this
fuck?
gonna
And then
be
you
it
start like
forever?
rebelling. You're like, this isn't me.
Well, and then,
Yeah.
like when you're trapped in those jobs, dude, like when I was working at the restaurant for like years, you're just like, is this it forever?
Yeah.
Like I just,
Yeah, and then people like I wanted to move up the ranks, and I was moving slower than like the people I had started with, and I started to be like, well, the people above me are smart. They must see that I'm not capable of doing something more. And then I started to be like, well, yeah, maybe this is your ceiling. Maybe you're hitting your ceiling.
God, it's
And then,
depressing.
especially when you want to be a performer, it can be dispiriting.
God, yeah. I remember like people that I would know would come into the restaurant, like
Oh, it's
comedians
hideous.
who like were actually,
Mhm.
big comedians. And I'd be like, hey,
God.
Yeah.
so embarrassed.
But that's better though, because I was doing that too. Like I'd bring lunch to all the creatives who were all these people I really admired. And, for a day I was like, oh, maybe they'll want to hear my bits. And then I realized pretty quickly, I'm like, just make sure their lunch is perfect.
So
Like
deep.
that's
Yeah.
how you'll
Yeah.
gain some favor. But then there would be other people who would be like, I'm going to do my bits for them. And I was like, yeah, good luck with that.
Oh,
and then
God, yeah.
they would always get popular really fast because they were outgoing. And then everybody would tire of them and be like, don't let that person near me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's
too
cute for
much.
like a week. They're like, oh my God, Frank is busting my balls. And I was
Yeah.
like, fucking Frank won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh.
Just bring us our fucking lunch.
Whoa.
Keep
Yeah,
it moving.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, fuck Frank.
Fuck Frank. All right.
Okay, shall we get into some cuties?
Yeah.
I'm excited for
Who's
this.
starting? You want to start or me? I forgot.
Yeah,
I'll
let's
start.
get into it.
Hi, lovely honks and sweet Lee. I'm just going to add in and JT. I've been a fan of tea time since day one, and I live in Iran. Anyways,
Whoa.
yeah.
All right.
So you're
Good
about to be
start.
cultured today, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited to learn.
Anyways, I'm a journalist in the most horrible country ever to be a journalist in.
Fuck.
LOL. As you might know, there's no such thing as freedom of press here, but there are lots of good and loyal journalists here to speak the truth.
I'm
Have I ever read-
already fucking gagged.
I
This
know.
is wild.
About the horrible boss. Our chief editor is considered our boss. This fucking man is a total narcissist. As most cis narcissist men, he is a sexual predator. Okay. There are tweets about him with #MeToo, but he is still working and everyone is acting like they don't know about it. I also found out 6 months after I started working there, he is so full of himself that he thinks the world is made for him. There was one day that the news came out about a tiger that was seen in one of the cities, and instead of catching the tiger safely, they decided to shoot the poor thing dead. Everyone was sad about this tiger, and this fucking guy had the audacity to say things like, he had to get killed. Then I started arguing with him, and he shouted, "Are you a vegetarian?" I said, "No, I'm not." And he said, "So you should not care about the life of this tiger.
No.
You can't eat meat and care about cats. This planet was created for us.
No, he didn't.
No, but he did, girl.
Fuck this guy.
For us, millions of years ago, not for tigers and cats." I was in total shock.
No.
It's giving Lee. Okay.
No,
I was in I know.
I know he hates. He
Lee
hates
could not have more cats if he
cats.
tried. Actually, I'm just kidding. Okay. I was in total shock for this fact that I didn't know where it came from. And I was like, who said this planet was made for us?
Yeah, not that.
Quran. And he was like, yeah, it's your problem that you don't believe in Quran. This man is so full of himself that he thinks the whole world was made for him to live in. And I have read Quran, although I don't believe in it. Nowhere in this book said such a thing. I hate this man and I can't wait to get out of this job. Sorry if this was long and not funny. It was funny. Also, I'm sorry if I had grammatical mistakes and my storytelling was not good. English is not my first language, obviously. I love this podcast and you guys so much.
You literally
Honey,
speak English better than we do.
yeah,
so.
you literally
That
do.
was
And
beautifully
you're
written.
literally a smart fucking angel, so don't even worry about that. But
Yeah, fuck your boss.
yeah, okay, not tiger and cats.
Not the Quran.
Yeah.
I can't. It's giving my grandpa.
Because you were
It
about to
was
say
also-
QAnon.
not QAnon. It's giving my angry grandpa, who
know what
also
I'm
said
saying.
things like that
Yeah.
and had 47 Dobermans. Ugh.
Okay.
47?
He had so many Dobermans.
He was Egyptian.
He was Egyptian.
Did he raise and sell them, or they were just
He
all?
just had a lot of them.
Wow.
And parrots too. He would steal parrots from Africa.
How big was his crib?
Big in Tarzana.
Okay, yeah, you need some space for that many Dobermans.
Yeah, it was big.
Whoa.
Lots of parrots, lots of Dobermans.
What happened to him?
To my grandpa?
Well, no, we know he's dead, but
Oh,
what
the Dobermans.
Oh, the Dobermans.
The
They just
Dobes.
died.
They all just died.
They all just
Okay,
died.
they
I don't-
withered.
Circle of life.
Yeah, circle
Yeah.
of life. My grandpa, he also died.
Yeah, no, he's dead.
That was the one nobody cried at his funeral.
That's okay.
Yeah. And you're
Okay,
mean, you're mean.
JT.
I don't know.
No one's gonna cry at that guy's funeral, that's for sure.
Yeah, no one is.
Fuck.
I hope a tiger fucking goes to his funeral. Okay.
All right. Okay, I'll get into this one and then we've got a good one for you. All right, so this is my story. About a year ago, I moved back to my home state from Alaska. Leaving my boyfriend of 5 years very distraught. I was struggling to find a job for about a month. I then reached out to my old coworker / friend who became the executive chef at this historic hotel we
God.
worked at together in the past. He hired me, and I thought my life was just starting to look up. Boy, was I wrong.
Okay.
My now new boss texted me every day saying how beautiful I looked and how he has always been in love with me. Me, being already heartbroken and in no place to say no to anything, let it get too far. Classic woman. This is what we do.
Not classic woman.
It got so far as to nudes being sent and him constantly buying me stuff and sending me money. Okay, not bad though. Honestly, not bad. If
I've
you're
heard
going to do
worse.
it. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I thought he would be. That sounds
Hitting her in the head with a hammer?
like
No,
she's
this is
getting
good.
a little more out
A
of it
little
than
bit
I
more
was
out of it.
anticipating.
Right?
Yeah.
So okay, it's not so bad. Excuse you, Lee just farted.
you really?
Okay.
It's badass, dude.
He would constantly buy booze for us, and we would get drunk at work all the time, making me more susceptible and easygoing. I tried over and over again to end it for an entire year, but he was very persistent and kept telling me he was going to leave his wife for me. I know. Oh, yeah. He is married.
Oh.
And to put the cherry on top of all of it, his wife is the head of HR at our work. Now things are getting
messy.
Head of HR?
That's fucking sticky,
wow.
dude.
Whoa.
That's a sticky
No, that's a
sitch.
fucking secret.
That is a fucking secret. Damn. Anyway, I finally had the strength to tell him, this is enough. I am done. And he left me alone. About 2 months go by, and I got promoted to be third in command of the kitchen. We hire my best friend to be a line cook and work with us. It was all going great until one day I borrowed my boss's work phone to make phone calls about hiring more people. As I am doing so, a chat head from Facebook Messenger pops up on his phone.
Nah, she was looking for that.
And the name read Baby Girl with the picture of my best friend.
Whoa.
Damn.
Okay.
No, yeah, what?
Yeah.
I would be hurt if I was her.
100%.
But if I zoomed out, am I allowed to be mad at my best friend for...
Did you tell here's where
Right,
you could be,
does the best friend know?
here, morally, you're both fucked up. But here's the thing. But that's it's kind of like a bonding thing for the best friends, I guess. But here's the thing. If you didn't tell your best friend that you were hooking up with him, you can be frustrated, but you can't be mad at her.
You can't be mad at all.
Now, if you tell her, oh my God, I had this thing with the guy, like, oh, I cut it off. It was kind of hard, but I had to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden you see the name on the phone, we're going to be having some words.
Also, the fact that he's married and the fact, like, that it's so easy for this girl to see this. Like, how is the wife not finding this? You know what I mean?
Here's the thing.
This guy's not being careful at all.
Not at all.
I feel like the wife, I feel like you see what you want to see. And
Baby girl.
I wish I had. I can't. I'm like hyper vigilant. I see everything. I would be, if I was her, I'd be losing it. Like there would be fights in the kitchen all the time.
I see things sometimes that aren't even there. That's how
exactly.
deeply I'm fucking looking. Someone goes, "Hey," I go, "The fuck was that attitude?"
Yeah, exactly. I'm like that.
So I'm tuned in.
The boldness though of saving her is baby girl. What?
Really inconspicuous. He didn't want to save her as like.
And then he's
Pizza
letting
Hut.
someone use his phone.
Utilities
Exactly.
warehouse.
I mean, he probably wants to get caught. He's
subconsciously.
He's
right?
operating from full id, and he's just like. He just wants to make a scene. He just wants to create waves.
He wants the drama. He's bored with himself.
He needs the dark energy.
He does.
Wow.
He's addicted to chaos.
Astute observations from both of y'all.
This guy's not a good boss.
Not a good boss.
Terrible cheater. Terrible boss.
It sounds like he could use some
great
essay.
Clown.
Yeah, great clown. All right. I then confront them both.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, Betty.
And in doing so, find out he has been telling her he is in love with her and sexting her too. Later on that week, I found out we are not the only girls that have worked there that he has done this to.
Oh, you think? Oh, whoa. That's a huge shocker at this point. Yeah, no way.
It's giving Sherlock on the case.
It is.
Yeah, come on, man.
Everyone's just devastated. No one has said anything because of the wife being the head of HR. But how weird would it be if the wife was actually in on this? Like it all ends up being some kind of like she's
like an Epstein,
like it just laying Maxwell. Yeah. My best friend ended up quitting because of the damage it caused between us. I am still working there. Okay, well, I don't know why the fuck you're still working there. And will be forced to deal with the fact that he is the worst boss ever until I find a new job. Girl, get on unemployment. Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, it's tough to tell someone to leave a job because I know they're tough to come by. But like, what are you doing going back in there? That's like a real nasty situation. And you're just perpetuating that energy into yourself. Yeah.
Right.
No, and then
No, speak.
Do you tell the wife?
Do you tell the wife, right?
Is that bad? Is I don't know girl code. Like, do you tell the wife?
If you okay.
And I don't want to moralize, but do you tell the wife?
I think it's too far gone. I think it's too messy to tell the wife
it is
now.
not really your
Do
business.
you even want to get involved in that? Yeah,
if the boss is hitting on you and making you feel creepy and you're like, whoa, like let's, what's going on? And then you want to tell you're probably gonna get fired.
I think the way that you would do it though, if you were gonna tell, is like write an anonymous thing from like, a fake email.
be clean of it.
Hey.
But yeah, I guess you just take care of your side of the street. You're like, I'm quitting. I'm done with this.
Right.
And I'm
washing
gonna
my
stop
hands
sleeping with the married man. Let me just like cut it off.
Right.
It is unfortunately
because you also don't know what's going on between these two.
Oh no! Well, nothing good, but you also do know. Unfortunately, legally speaking, it is very funny that two of the best friends got down with the horrible boss.
Yeah.
That just on like a very surface level is very hilarious.
I do want to know if baby girl and the best friend knew that there was a relationship. Like, did the girl tell her best friend?
know?
She definitely knew, I think.
But you
so?
tell your besties.
You
this
tell
type of
your
fuck
best
shit.
friend. Yeah.
You go, oh my God, like.
True.
Maybe she didn't know all the details, but she at least knew that there was something going on.
Some kind of fuckage.
Yeah, she's like, he flirts with me. She might have just left it there, but I think she had some inkling.
Damn. People
Like,
are
think about
messy,
like
huh?
People are messy, dude.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to read.
So I don't hang out with as many people anymore.
I know.
I'm
No,
like,
you have to. You have to keep the circles. It's about quality, not quantity.
it's too much to think about. It just would stress me out.
It is. It's we don't have enough time. You don't. Yeah. It's
Also, as you get more successful and you get busier and whatnot, and then you have like, you know, serious relationships, I feel like all the clutter of life just kind of starts to gradually fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
It's true.
And it's a bummer because it was fun just like being a pinball bouncing off people and experiences. But yeah,
it's a moment.
It's very early 20s behavior.
My brain goes on. I'm too neurotic. I'll think about everything too much. So I'm like, no, I need to like limit my experiences a little bit.
Yeah. It's
this
true.
is the excitement for me, doing the pods.
And this is, dude.
Yeah.
And then you get into your 30s and this is what you do.
Yeah, this is
exciting.
it. This is my night out on the town, dude. This is fun.
Us too, dude.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, here you go, dude.
All right, hell yeah. Hey, honky tonks and bonky bonks. Lee too, I suppose. So I don't know if it's a curse, but every single coffee shop I've worked at in LA is owned by a tyrannical sociopath. I've worked at 6 in my lifetime, 5 too many for most to have normal brain chemistry afterward. One of my old bosses, we'll call him Roger, was a middle-aged bald man with blinding white veneers. We used to call him Mr. Clean because he would make us scrub that place so clean we could eat off the floor. And because, well, he looked like Mr. Clean. He had a family and the loveliest wife who would come visit us and bring baked goods for the employees. That's nice. She was angelic and way too good for him considering he was fucking our manager every morning in the bathrooms of the coffee shop we had scrubbed down the night before.
No.
It was like this open secret. Everybody knew about it, but never talked about it while we were there. People were always walking in on them and everyone continued to believe they just had no idea any of this was happening. Our manager, I should mention, was also pregnant and still had a boyfriend of her own during all of this. We would all quietly speculate who the actual father of the baby was and say if it came out with veneers, we would know it's Roger. That's funny. He wasn't necessarily a bad boss on paper aside from the lack of professionalism and bathroom fucking, but he was still an asshole and held grudges against people.
Yeah.
One day I told him that I needed to get a second job because I was going to be moving soon and needed the money so my schedule might change. I mean, he knew how much I was making, so how could he argue that? I made sure to emphasize that this would be a secondary job and that this one would still be my primary, and he said he understood. At the end of the week, I was leaving my shift and I said something like, see you Monday. And he said, what are you talking about? And I was like, I always work Mondays. I'll see you then. Then he told me, but you said you got a new job, so I took you off the schedule. You're not working next week. I then re-explained everything I'd already told him a second time, but he kind of made it seem like it was already done and out of his control. I texted him a few times more attempting to clarify the situation, and he ghosted me. Maybe he found out I was taking home a kombucha green juice and at least 3 pastries every day. LOL. It's a good...
Nice though.
You got to make a grab
score.
bag.
Come on, when you're not getting paid that much, you got to take what you can get.
You got to eat there.
Yeah.
Whatever though, and fuck him, because the new job I got as a bartender rocked, and it was the easiest, most fun job I've ever had. Still sad I stopped working there after the pandemic. Oh, and I never found out if the baby was his or if his wife ever found out. I love the pod. Gabby does need to take Gas X before recording though.
Because she farts all the
I
time,
fart
and
a
she will
lot.
try and fart on me.
Yeah, I'm not gassy today.
I know. Thank
I had
Christ.
oat milk, not cow
Huh,
milk.
that's really respectful.
Yeah.
Go girl. Harper should talk to HR about the hostile work environment Gabby is creating. Sisk is risking her life working in hazardous conditions like that. Stay strong, Harper. Lee, stop jerking off to that.
We've had some problems.
Whoa.
But
Whoa, dude.
I get it, man. I get it, brother.
Whoa.
No judgment.
This girl
here.
is fucking
No
pregnant?
judgment here.
That's gnarly, dude.
now you're
that's
trying to defund from the
intense.
Gas X, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll fight over that.
Yeah, but it's okay. But I can move on. But yeah, that's fucking crazy.
That's fucking great. Not the fucking boss. Fucking how pregnant though too.
I love that JT.
What?
I love that you read all that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was really honored. It felt good.
And it sounded good.
Okay, good. Dude, you're a good laugher, bro. You're a good
He
laugher.
stays laughing, dude.
That's nice.
He gets all red and jolly.
You
too.
laugh from deep. That's nice.
Okay, sorry.
That's nice.
No, yeah, it is.
You
nice.
are a good laugh. That's a great observation.
Yeah, he's a
That's
good
also why I
laugher.
love having a guest on, because you get to like kind of like see things through their eyes.
Yeah, first time.
Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, I have kind of a cutie.
All
Here
right.
we go. Okay, wait. Okay, Hi, honks. I used to work for a massive cunt. She's a talent manager and a full-time whack job. She treated me very poorly for about 11 months and then fired me. In hindsight, a few things she did were very funny. Once she threatened to drop all 30 of her clients because she couldn't open a Dropbox link. Oh, all right. Ooh. Another time I said, "How was your weekend?" And she scowled and said, "Why?" No, I like that. Her cunty, that's boundaries. Her cuntiness was the norm, but one of her clients, who was also her best friend, was the biggest pussy ass bitch I ever met. A situation with him was ultimately the reason I got fired, and the situation happened on my birthday. I basically had an 8-hour notice to find this guy a suit for a premiere, despite him having a closet full of suits, per his assistant. It was impossible for both me and his assistant to get him a new suit and stylist on such a short notice, especially because we had been asking him for weeks if he wanted a stylist, and he gave us no answer. And he was on a plane 6 of those 8 hours after telling us he wanted a suit. So when the fuck would he even have had time for a fitting? He threw a little fucking bitch fit and screamed at me and my boss. Again, it was my birthday. I would tell you more, but he's a D-list celeb, and I'm not trying to get sued despite everything I have to say about him being truthful. Please don't share his name.
Did she put the name?
Can I say it and then we bleep it out?
Yeah.
I have heard
I don't think
this.
he's D-list.
He's not D.
I wouldn't say
like
D. I would
B.
say
Yeah, in comedy ranks, he's B+.
B plus
No
in
way.
comedy.
That guy's a bitch.
but-
He tried to fuck. He was like, my friend was like trying to lose her virginity to him for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Do I know this friend?
Was
No,
trying to
you
lose
don't.
her virginity.
Yeah, she was a virgin, and like she was like obsessed with him, and they kept hanging out. And
I think he has some picadillos
you
about
hear that?
cleanliness.
You want to know what's interesting? Maybe not to anyone else but me, but I'm just going to say it. My brother used to be extremely, like, very neurotic, very gnarly about, like, germs and whatnot. And it, honestly, that's my parents, like, thought he was autistic. But recently in his adult life, now he, like, completely lost it.
Yeah, which is insane because you go to his house and it looks like a fucking homeless person lives in there.
Well, not ever since he got
That's
the girlfriend.
progress.
Ever since he got the girlfriend, his place is cute now.
Dude, they'll
Really?
do that. My
Yeah.
girlfriend has totally made me into a regular human being. Steph
were
used to just,
you a shit? Like, did you shit everywhere?
I was just a spoiled kid. I'd just throw things wherever I wanted. Things would break. I'd be like, I just won't go in there anymore. Like
Yeah.
now.
How
Should it-
were you? Okay, you guys live together now.
Mhm.
Was your place before, like, did you have trash everywhere?
Yes.
You're like a dirty dude.
And I just knew how to hide things.
Yeah.
Like tons of hair in the sink, but I would
Yeah.
like, if someone was coming over, I'd clean it all up. Now, like, she's very sweet about it. Like, I'll just like take off my socks and like my like gym shorts or whatever, throw them into a room, and she'd be like, "Why'd you throw them in there?" She'll just ask me. She'll be like, "Why?" And then I'll go, "I don't know.
You just
I don't know
think
why I
about
did that." And then I'll just go pick them up and put them where they're supposed to go.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's kind of easy.
communication.
It's
So she's
easy to
kinda
train
helped.
us.
Yeah, because my
Easy to
boyfriend's
train.
the same. He's so dirty. He's like he's like an ex-pro skater who like lives as if he's still like a fucking 19-year-old.
I think I have some guy friends who are very like clean and on top of it and know how to like design a place and make it feel like a home. But I think the vast majority of us are just idiots and we're just waiting for someone to tell us how to do it.
Yeah.
And it's nice because at first when you're learning, you feel like you're losing your spirit. You're
Yeah.
like, no,
This is me.
I'm like a wild man, and like I'm out in like the the wilderness, and but it's not that at all. But in our heads, that's what
it's
it
a
is.
studio
Yeah.
apartment.
Yeah, and
the
so
lizard brain.
Yeah.
yeah, and so I was
With,
kind
like,
of dramatic
cigarette
where I was
butts.
like, stop trying to tell me how to like act and live, and then after
Yeah.
a couple weeks, you're like, I'm just an idiot, and I should probably.
You're like, actually, I don't like being around molded food. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of nice.
And
I
mildew
don't need all these
clothes.
It's
Dorito
kind of
bags
nice.
under
It's
the
kind of
bed.
nice when stuff is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
are mid-story, right?
Well, we definitely were. But here's the
Yeah.
thing. It kind
Oh,
of
fuck.
Oh
she
shit!
goes on. Yeah, no, it's okay.
Shit!
What
Yeah.
were we talking
That's
about?
why we
Shit.
need Lee. That's why we need Lee
Dude,
to just
that's
kind of
expert
drive the ship
producing,
home.
dude.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, you guys.
We didn't
She just
finish?
goes on to say like a bunch of cute stuff about us afterwards, and we love it and we appreciate you. But the last thing about the story that she did say was,
Oh.
"Fuck him. I hope he eats." Side note: he's also allergic. So another little.
All these
Oh.
guys are allergic to stuff.
Yeah.
They all
Damn.
are.
What's
Yeah,
up with
when I was
that?
bringing lunch to people, they all had allergies.
Week.
Do you think the more powerful you are, the more allergies
The
you
more
have?
allergies you
Maybe
get.
That seems to be it.
Well,
It's
here's
true.
the thing.
It's
Maybe
true.
that's why you get so like fierce
Mhm.
and volatile because you don't want people to know your weaknesses.
And you've
Whoa.
suppressed all of them for so long because you didn't feel safe like telling people about them. Like you didn't think people would act accordingly, but now you have power and everyone has to act accordingly.
Well, and you shouldn't be a cunt if you have all these allergies because JT, like, you're a great guy, but like, what if someone just rubbed you the wrong way one day and they're allergic to mushrooms?
I'll poison you.
Yeah,
I'll
literally.
do it.
Wow.
I'll do
Literally.
it to feel better. I'll do it.
Anything
Poison
for a
all of
moment
you.
of
Dude, he didn't even
solace.
blink. Fuck
No,
He
no,
did.
no.
He really. And you didn't.
I didn't
blink.
even
I
have
wish
to
you did
think.
blink, but that's okay. But
Yeah, Michael Caine says if you blink, that suggests weakness. I blink a lot. I
Yeah,
blink a
that's
lot when I
true.
act. He says Hugh Grant blinks a lot. He says if you want to look strong on camera, don't blink.
You know Andrew Huberman?
Of course.
Yeah, dude, he doesn't blink. He talks about
He
that
never
too.
blinks.
Never blinks.
And I
Dry
trust
eyes.
him.
I trust him for sure.
Yeah, he's got that big, solid noggin on him too.
Yeah,
that big, handsome head.
You listen to his voice and you're like, this man,
Yeah.
he knows things.
Yeah, hot scientists are just killing
Hot
it right now.
scientists.
They're
Wow.
just
He's making
murdering.
rounds on all the podcasts. Dude.
Yeah.
yeah, he's coming on ours next week.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I fucking wish, dude.
Yeah, me too.
That would be my dream. We got to get Andrew in
You
here.
got to speak it out. to
Would
the
you guys
universe.
go at him? Like, would you try to bring down the Huberman
dude.
Empire? No.
No.
He's too smart. I'd be annihilated.
I would ask him a bunch of like fun questions that have nothing to do with his his big brain.
Expertise or whatever.
Yeah.
I would just ask him,
Play Mary Fuck Kill.
play Mary Fuck Kill with his family members.
That would
and then,
blow his mind.
And then I would say, would you rather have pickles for fingers or would you rather have teeth that have hair on them?
Oh,
JT?
pickles for fingers.
yeah.
Well, I don't know what word that was, but Lee?
Do they grow back though?
What?
Do they grow?
You messed up, dude.
No, you're not eating
Shut
them, Hunk.
up.
They're your actual fingers.
You bonered that, dude.
Wait, so you can eat them?
Well, it's gonna hurt because it's your finger, but they are pickles.
Oh.
So they're just always
Yeah,
like wet
GT.
pickles.
Yeah, they're just wet pickles,
Ow.
and they're thick like a pickle too.
I feel like you could get used to hairy teeth.
They just so ugly though.
Yeah, and I hate the feeling of having hair in my
See,
mouth.
I
Yeah,
hate sticky
like
fingers.
pubic hair too.
But I think it would actually be nice to the touch. Like, I think if you touch someone with pickles,
I'm talking
Can
like
you
a
imagine
fur
That'd
how
coat.
feel
and then you
nice.
can put them on
Yeah.
your face?
I cannot do sticky fingers.
no, imagine you're on
doing
your
nice.
back and you
Sticky.
had a
Pickles
hard
aren't
day.
sticky.
You had a hard day
They're
here,
wet.
and you lay down. I'm your partner, and I just go lay down, and then I just drag my 10 pickles across your face. I think that would cool you down.
I agree.
I think it'd be nice. It's like a
Lee?
cucumber almost.
Yes, they're not sticky, Lee.
Physical
They're
touch.
not sticky.
They're wet. They're kind of nice.
They're
Yeah,
a little
they are kind of
viscous.
nice,
They got
yeah.
a little
They're
thing
not,
to
they're
them.
not bread and butter. They're dill.
Yeah,
They're
dill.
dill. They're
with a kiss
dill.
of vinegar and black
I
peppercorn.
guess I'm sold.
And it's simple as that.
Ah.
And I say, Lee, baby, here,
Yeah.
put one in your mouth. Put one
But
in your
don't bite it.
But
Because
don't
You don't
bite
have to. You don't have to. It's up to you. It's
Yeah.
up to you.
Yeah.
This is
That'd
my
be
version of it.
nice.
But I'm down to
We
meet
got
in
him
the middle.
chuckling again.
You
Down
got
to
him.
meet in the
Mr.
middle,
Chuckles
You
dude.
got him. You got him all
My
loosened
single
up.
brother.
Lee baby.
He like Lee
Yeah,
likey.
you like that.
Lee likey.
New nickname for Lee.
Lee
He
likey.
like.
Lee likey. He liked the pickle
Lee
fingers.
likey pickly. Honk, if you need one for JT, I have one.
Do you have? I have one. I have one too. But you go ahead.
Can I read the title?
Please?
All right, forward, Dunkin' Donuts Dick Boss. I was 17, okay, worked at Dunkin', or as we call it in Boston, Donkeys. I was there for maybe 2 months to fill in as a summer job because the grocery store I worked at was on strike and I needed that good dough. My boss, Tony Wu, was savage. Like it was under strict dictatorship, not even just a regular tough boss. The guy would walk in the middle of the morning coffee rush and start pouring bleach all over the floors to clean people were slipping and sliding all over the place.
No.
Atrocious. He would also come up from behind and clap his hands in your ears and say, "Go, go, go." You know how to keep up the morale, obviously. There was a lady I worked with that was there 12 years, single mom, never got a raise. And Tony gave her chemical burns from the bleach. She
No.
still works there.
Not he was.
Jesus.
Mr. Wu was a savage.
That's a sad movie. I, however, cannot take the chaos. He told me I wasn't sweeping correctly. I probably wasn't. I don't care. I put the skim milk where the whole milk was supposed to go into dispenser. Classic. One day I was checking my schedule I wasn't on. I called Tony. I couldn't understand his heavy Chinese accent. I didn't want to keep saying, huh. So all I got out of the phone call was, blah, blah, something, something terminated. I'm like, okay, bye.
And that's really that.
blah, blah, blah.
Something terminated.
Okay, bye.
That girl's a savage who wrote that one in.
Yeah.
He was. He used
Yeah.
the full name and everything
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
So I'm from Boston, and there's like a Dunks on every corner,
A donkeys.
and
A
y-
donks.
and you know they're franchises, so there's no like there's no standards, you know. And you'd see some where you'd walk in and they're mopping and they're straight up just splashing mop water into all the stuff on the bottom.
No.
So whatever like bagels, it's usually like bagels on the bottom row, is just getting covered in mop water.
Oh God.
By whatever teenager's working that day.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's so fucking gross.
Pretty rowdy. So if you're going to Dunkin' Donuts, and do not order bagels from the bottom.
Okay, good to know.
Intel.
Thank you. Okay, that's
gross.
a pro tip.
Hey, gassy honk, sassy honk, and tediously. After years of part-time retail jobs, I finally found a position at a corporate real estate company doing cold calls and setting meetings. It all sucked, but it turned out that my boss was the worst part of this job. I worked for the most morally corrupt scumbag. Aside from cheating his employees out of bonuses, which equated to 6 figures collectively, he was the slimiest, most sexist, misogynistic douche in existence. What's up with all these fucking bosses being like this? Love the show and look forward to the weekly Patreon episodes. I like that they put that right in the middle. He would come in on Mondays and talk about screwing college girls over the weekend and all the vile things they let him do to them. We all knew he was full of crap. He was constantly making sleazy comments about the female employees and hitting on them. When we moved to a new office, he offered $1,000 to the first person to break in the conference table room. Okay, honestly, I would do that. $1,000?
Okay.
I'll take it, dude. You have to fuck him or just like anybody?
Sounds like it could be anybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fuck, count me in, dude. All right.
He's gonna get mad though.
Yeah.
Because he means when
wants
he
it to be
says that he
him.
wants it to be him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does. But he should have been. This is why he's a bad boss, because he wasn't being clear with the
And
instruction.
I would still do
Yeah.
it. If it was him, I'd say, well, I'll take $1,000. But you know he
Illuminating.
probably wouldn't give it to you, huh?
No. Well,
This
no,
guy's
because
all
he's clearly
talk.
he. You know what? Don't fuck people that are not givers. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Stingy in all ways. No.
Yeah, and I don't like when it feels like it's like I don't like being intimate in a context where it feels like someone's like pulling strings on
Right.
it. Yeah, it feels gross to me.
Transactional.
Yeah.
Or like where it's really not even about like connection. It's about one person feeling like they're like orchestrating
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's all about their power. That always like freaks me out. I'm like,
Yeah.
don't bring that weird heebie-jeebie energy into something else.
Not
Because
even for
sex is an
$1,000
energy exchange. Even if it's casual, it's still an energy exchange. So just try and keep it light and fun, and keep your fucking weird shit in the conference room or wherever the fuck else.
Yeah, because these people play around with it. I'm a sex guy, but I actually think it's like there's this movie Kinsey about the sex doctor Kinsey, and they were all banging each other and like trying to be like free love about it and be like, hey, like we're all. I guess I'm kind of like a Puritan a little bit, where they're all like, yeah, we're chill about sex. But then one guy's wife starts liking one of the other guys too much, and they get into a fight, and the guy yells at Kinsey, and he's like, you want it to be all like fun and easy and detached. He's like, if you're not careful, sex will cut you wide open.
Wait,
And
I want to see this
Whoa.
movie.
it's good.
Kinsey?
It's called Kinsey. It's
What's
good.
it on?
It's just a biography. I'm sure you can get it on like Amazon.
Kinsey?
Yeah, and he's like, I was like 13 when I saw that, and I was like a total virgin, but I was like, it really resonated with me. Where I was like, yeah, this is like big energy you're playing with.
Big
like,
energy.
It is big energy.
I remember being younger and thinking like, I have autonomy. Like I can do whatever I want. I can fuck whoever I want. And then I did for a long time, and it never was good.
No, when I was single and like trying to date a lot, I felt very spiritually empty. And then when I had big problems with webcam porn, and I would do
says Lee.
I would do weird stuff on there, and I was very honest about it. And I thought if I was honest about it and didn't have shame, there'd be no psychic cost. It drove me to like the darkest darkness.
Yeah.
Like I was putting negative energy into my body, and no judgment on it. I was just doing it too much, and I was doing it in a way to like pulverize my spirit, and it did. I like really fucked myself up.
Dude, I mean, that's not even how it is. I don't really watch porn anymore, but on the occasion when I do, I feel that afterwards. I'm like, I don't like this.
I equate that type of stuff to like eating fast food. Like once in a while, okay, but like when you're doing when that's becoming like all you're sustaining off of, that is going to actually poison you spiritually.
Yeah, it's not nourishing.
No, it isn't nourishing.
It's not nourishing.
No, but you have the same shit, huh? You need to stop.
Yeah, for a few reasons. Porn in general is pretty toxic.
I agree.
Yeah,
it'll spin your dome a little bit.
You ever run into the hypno stuff?
No, what's that?
No?
This is fucked. He's talked to us about this.
It's pretty wild. So
Not the smile.
I've thought about this a lot, actually, since you talked about it.
Yeah, so I've never talked about it on the show, actually.
I thought you did.
No, I didn't.
Did you just talk about it off camera?
I talked about it off camera.
It's wild.
So why not with a guest? They actually removed it. It was so toxic. They removed it from Pornhub for a long time. And I actually was, after I talked about it with you guys, it found its way back on.
Because you went looking for it.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
No,
I was curious. I was curious. I didn't
No.
watch any of it. But there's this hypno porn, and it's like, it literally they put like subneural they do like the subneural like beats, and they do like audio, like they bury audio, and they do like multiple dimensional video, and they basically like put you into a hypnotic state while you're watching porn, and it can like you can hypnotize yourself while you're basically jerking off.
Well, that's too powerful.
It's pretty powerful.
No, that's like dark
He had to
magic.
watch. He had to do like
So I
reverse engineering porn.
I had, yeah, and so it can hypnotize you into like certain ways of thinking and thinking sexually, and I had to reverse. I don't want to go too far into that. You can.
You had to inception your way out of it. You had to go like 3 dream layers down and like solve the puzzle
riddle.
in each one.
Literally.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's like this like sissy hypno porn, and then,
Yeah.
and then there's like, and then you had to like alpha brain your way out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You needed the opposite for the cure.
It got really weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on top of it being like abusing, cocaine, and like being like,
I was doing a ton of Adderall. That's what
Yeah,
spiked me into it. They're like peanut butter and jelly together. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You're an explorer though, man. You went all the way.
An
Yeah.
explorer.
Yeah. You went through galaxies in your head and then
It's kind of like
made the
really
return
did.
voyage, dude. You're on some
You're
interstellar
like dimension
shit, bro.
hopping.
Yeah.
For a long time. Yeah.
Mhm. I did too. Yeah, I get it.
Subneural. Wow. I've thought
but
about
yeah.
that a lot since you told us that.
Yeah,
See, I
it's
pushed it out of
wild.
my brain. He told us that,
It's
and I
just
said,
so
I don't ever
fucking
want to think about
wild.
that again. And I pushed it out, and you telling us this information was as if I was hearing it for the first time.
I'm surprised you never thought about it, but the cam girl stuff, you can get
Surprised you never thought about it.
really engaged with because there is somebody on the other end.
Yeah.
And so there is like this relationship that you can build with the performer. And so it is.
No,
a
it can
different
feel
type.
like, and at its most intense, it can feel like they're operating your own brain from inside of it. It's like a being John
Wild.
Malkovich thing where you're like, oh, this person, but it's not real because they're just doing it to your prescriptions. But it feels like someone's in your head, like operating your body for you.
they're just taking your requests.
Mhm.
Right.
And you're being like, I need this right now. It's like, I need, it's like, I need. And they're like, just giving you what
like
you want.
what's
This
coming
is the
out of
most
this
energy
hat.
I've ever
Let's put this
seen.
rabbit back in its hole, because if I ever see
Well,
you
imagine
pretend to
feeling
jerk
that a couple times a day and then crashing, or like going back out into the world and being like, this is all very disappointing compared to that.
No, after
Yeah.
meeting Lee and some other people, whenever I walk into the grocery store now and I'm just like, shopping around, I just kind of
Who
like
is
survey
it?
the scene, and
Who
I
is
specifically
it?
the men, and I just look around and I go, what are you fuckers up to when
Yeah.
you leave here?
What's
Or
Yeah.
what
going
are we
on
doing
on that
just-
computer?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that while we were going through some of these questions because they're all such gnarly workplaces.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It can kind of darken my perspective on like every time I go into a store now, I'm gonna be like, is that manager taking advantage
Every
of that?
restaurant?
Yeah.
Oh, every
Yeah.
restaurant, like they're all
Who's getting fucked in the bathroom in the morning?
Yeah, and I kind of want to believe in a more wholesome reality where
Right?
people are like decent and kind of operating based off their better angels.
So true.
But even if that's not true, I'm still gonna do it just because that's a more peaceful existence for me.
Because really, it's the existence that you build.
Yeah,
we create our own realities.
Yeah, we do.
I hope
And
so. Yeah.
If you're not the coworker getting banged out in the morning, it's like, well, then it doesn't pertain to you.
No, I don't have to carry that.
You don't have to carry. It's not your burden.
Well
Yeah.
said.
you do
Yeah.
not have to carry that. But unfortunately, we're not done with this one.
Let's go.
Sorry. So he offered the $1,000 to break in the conference room table. 2 weekends prior to me being downsized for lack of money, had an expensive, they spell expensive wrong, had an expensive party at his big Manhattan Beach apartment.
Nice.
Maybe expansive.
Yeah, nice. Manhattan Beach. He bragged about converting it from 2 2-bedroom units. Okay. The day before downsizing, we got a fax from a mechanic that said that they had a lien, L-I-E-N. What's that?
A lien.
Lien? They had a lien on his wine cellar.
Yeah, like he had taken out too much money on it for some kind of loan.
Got it. Okay. I also found out that the decision to downsize me fell on an employee that I was outperforming, and that employee had opted to keep his friend, an employee that missed 3 days a week every week. Okay. Years later, while driving to my chemotherapy. Okay, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're in chemo.
The story thickens.
Years later, while driving to my chemotherapy, my trashy ex-boss calls me out of the blue and asks me to testify on his behalf in a sexual harassment case from one of his assistants. I told him he was a sleazy, not you on your way to chemotherapy.
Yeah,
I
sorry,
told
I'm
him
busy,
he was
bro.
a sleazy piece of trash, that I witnessed the harassment, and that he still owed me $1,000 and hung up. He still owed you $1,000? So did you break in that fucking table?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Here's the thing, though. Just for like the fun drama,
Yeah.
she could have been like, "Yeah, okay, I'll testify for you." Yeah, and then get on the stand and be like,
That
"Well,
would've been
actually,"
fun.
but
That
that's because
would've
I
been
have a addiction to drama. But
Or just for cinematic moments. I think that's in line
you know
with
what?
your
I
interview.
like that rebrand. I like
Mhm.
cinematic moments.
Yeah, you're doing that main character stuff, and you're like, this is in a movie. This is how it ends.
Yes.
In that courtroom, me laying this dude's shit out, and dude, the guy fucking deserves it.
Yeah.
Dude, and he fucking did deserve it.
But I do like the poetic route that she took by she's on the way to chemo.
Yeah, I never want to be in that situation where I got to call gals from my past and be like, hey, will you do a little character testimony for me?
Oh, God.
I know I fucked up those 3 or 4 times, but overall I was
But the
solid.
5th time it was just a misunderstanding. Right on.
We made our peace. That was okay, right?
Jesus.
So I've got one actually. JT, do you want to read it?
Yeah, dude, I love reading them.
Yeah, this is
I think we'll go out with this one.
all right.
Okay, cool.
This is a good shorty. Here you go.
Hell yeah. Ass warmed cookie. We had an asshole boss at a deli I worked at. He would take a cookie at 6 a.m., wrap it in cellophane, and then put it in his back pocket to work all day. At about 2 p.m., he would take it out and the chocolate chips would be all melty, and he would sit down and cherish everybody. Like with his eyes closed and everything. Dude, that's really funny. That's really funny. What a weird guy, dude.
Oh, God.
Dude, but I do kind of like, I like that this guy like found like a nice mundane way to find his bliss. You know what I mean? He's not hurting anybody.
Kind of wholesome.
Yeah, it's kind of it's super gross. But like he tried things out. Like one day he just accidentally had a cookie in there and he was like, "This is perfect."
Yeah.
And then it just became habit.
Just
It's his
became
little
his thing.
ritual.
Yeah.
It's his own little thing that he think nobody knows.
This is why
Yeah.
being perceived is so horrifying.
Yeah.
We should all be so lucky to find our thing like that.
Yeah.
That's
So
nice.
true.
We called it the ass warmed cookie, and all the deli workers loved it and were secretly disgusted by it at the same time. We had ovens and toasters, but he loved the ass. I get it, dude. You don't want to use machines. Machines, that's so inhuman.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got your own ass,
You
dude.
want your humanity back.
Yeah, exactly.
He would wrap it every morning. He'd say, I've got a little treat for later.
Yeah.
He had a
Yeah.
little-
He'd have a hard moment at work and he would just pat that cookie and know it was heating up. He would just rub it.
This man's going
His
through
safe
something
little
we know nothing
totem.
about.
Yeah. He's like,
He
ah.
said, I'm coming for you
I
later.
got my cookie at 2 p.m. You guys can't fuck with my shit.
Fuck.
Yelled at by a customer.
Yeah, he's just rubbing that cookie and he can just detach into that.
It's his like
and
emotional support cookie.
it's exactly, yeah. He fired me for being 14 minutes late, 5:44 a.m. instead of 5:30 a.m. Fuck off. Love you, sassy and gassy. I came for the Gabby and stayed for the Harper. Luckily, is a fortunate guy to have caught you two in his pod web. Anyway, great job on the podcast.
Oh, that's really
That was
cute.
a banger.
Those are fucking hilarious.
That's really fucking cute.
Not the, and the closing his eyes to like savor every bite.
Yeah,
He said
he didn't need anything else
that
in that
guy's a
moment.
character.
He didn't.
He just needed that cookie.
He just needed that ass warmed cookie.
I gotta say, of all the bosses, he sounds
I
the
like
best.
that. That's what we just ended on. That kind of like just set me. That kind of like spiritually just kind of like set me right.
yeah.
Fuck, that's funny.
Yeah, he was. I think that guy's solid. I like that. I want him on a solid boss. Yeah,
I will take a weird, wholesome boss over an asshole any day
for sure. That guy. I don't think that guy has any sadism in him or anything like that.
No, he just had his little thing.
He had his cookie.
I'm sorry that you got fired, but you know.
He wanted his little, and you know, it's like his butt like melted the chocolate chips perfectly. Like he had it down.
Yeah, and I'm to play devil's advocate to the person who wrote it in. I don't think that was the first time they were late. I don't think you get fired first time being late 15 minutes.
You're really on the side of the cookie guy.
I really love the cookie guy. He's a good, solid dude. He knew everybody in that place was laughing at him about his ass cookie, and he couldn't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah,
he couldn't give a fuck. He'd been through enough life to know you only have so many peaceful moments, and he's not going to let anybody corrupt it, especially not this guy who's late every day and judging the fuck out of him for his innocent, his innocent escape. Yeah. Sorry, writer guy.
It's kind of too little, too late. But when she was coming in, or whenever they were coming in late, and they're about to get fired, right? How I think it would be kind of like a kismet or kind of like a nice moment if like they pulled out an ass cookie too, and we're like, well, what do you want this? And I think that could have maybe like kind of put a Band-Aid over.
Yeah, but it was his own. He liked his own.
He does like it, but I don't know. I personally think it's worth a try. I think it's good to meet people where they're at to try and level with them.
I picture him on a date. You know, he's had trouble finding love. They go to sit down on a park bench. The gal he's with sits down and she's like, oh no. And he's like, what's wrong? She's like, I crumbled my cookie.
Yeah.
And she also has an ass cookie.
God, see?
And he goes, it's not an oh no. It's an oh yeah. And then he takes out his.
Yeah, and then they share it.
And they eat each other's cookies. Yeah, they smash their cookies together.
It's just like one of those Pixar little short films that they play right before the big
scene. And now this is when A24
like the person who makes bows or whatever. Yeah, this is totally in that vein.
Yeah.
Remember the one before Toy Story that was a little lamps?
That was cute.
Yeah, that's what this is.
This
cute
is
motherfucking shit, dude.
Yeah, it's cute motherfucking shit. And real quick, this is just to ask.
Dude, keep them coming. I'm loving them.
This is, okay, somebody just sent us the real problem with flip-flops. Wow. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. The real problem with flip-flops in public is not the aesthetic. Yes, they're ugly and they show people's ugly feet and the toe thong part is revolting. Sure, that's not the insidious thing about flip-flops though. Flip-flops in public are an entitlement signaling.
Oh.
If you're wearing flip-flops, you're signaling to everyone else in the world that you aren't going to be doing any real work. You're going to be ushered easily from one paved or carpeted safe area to another. You're not going to pick anything heavy up for anyone.
Yo, Gabby, this is super targeted. This is like me and my entire... This is me and my ilk. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I mean, they're coming after us hard. They got their guns drawn.
Well, you're
keep
not
going.
going
Keep going.
And I do.
Keep going.
You're not going to run or even break into a jog crossing a street. You're not going to save an old person from falling, and you're not going to do anything that isn't extremely relaxed and cared for. When I see a dude in the city wearing flip-flops, I know who I'm dealing with. That's it. That's it.
And I love that just randomly was
just
emailed.
Sent that in.
That was personal.
Dude, they didn't even know you were coming.
I'm a big rainbow sandals guy.
Wow.
Fuck.
That's a commitment.
I don't disagree with what they're saying. They're not meant for function and action. But I think it's to our earlier thing where it's like, what reality do you want to live in? Do you want to go out every day thinking there could be like a car accident that you have to go like pull a body out of? Or do you want to feel like someone's going to attack you every day? I think when you put on the sandals, you're betting on a peaceful day. And, and I'll push my chips in on that. Not every day, but once in a while, I think it's important.
Yeah, you're setting yourself up for today's going to be. I'm going to be relaxed today.
That's a really good Uno reverse you just pulled.
That was a good perspective shift. Mm-hmm. Consider me shifted.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Sandals get picked on a lot,
and they do. I fucking hate them.
Comedian, like we're not supposed to wear them on stage.
You know who does wear them on stage?
Who?
Lachlan.
Hilarious guy.
Hilarious guy. Always in flip-flops.
And a big, capable dude. Like he could
dude.
handle things if it went sideways.
You know he could run fast.
Yeah.
He'd take off
Also
those
in
flops and he'd
flip-flops.
run.
I just feel like he's like always at the beach and whatnot. So I feel like his feet have kind of developed a That's also what I think too. Because when you're wearing flip-flops, you're also taking them off. That kind of just goes without saying. So your feet have developed
it's
like
an island
callus.
warrior type thing.
I also think you have to develop an emotional callus if you're going to wear flip-flops because they are so openly hated.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. You're sticking out in a way where you know people are judging you for all the things this dude mentioned, but you're not letting that bother you.
Much like the Cookie Man.
That's his. Dude.
Full circle.
You just got your flip-flops and your ass cookie.
And
your ass cookie.
It's not a bad way to live.
It's not a bad way to live. God, what a way to end. I mean, that was great.
Okay, you guys.
What a
that's
nice.
Literally been tea time. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thanks so much to our fucking
and
guest
thank you so
today,
much for
dude.
JT. Thank you so much for coming on.
Anything you want to plug?
Our podcast, Going Deep with Chad and JT.
Hell yeah.
Watch Unstable on Netflix. Then we had our own show that came out a while ago called Chad and JT Go Deep. If you want to watch that, it's a lot of fun. And guys, thank you so much for having me. I like the show a lot, and I was really excited to come on. It was really fun.
Hell yeah, dude, you're the best. Join us on Patreon. See you guys there.
Oh yeah, we started prank calling again, y'all.
So we'll see you on Patreon.
You guys prank called me a couple times.
Did we really?
Did we really?
I knew it was you guys.
Was it during the
took me a
pandemic?
while.
Wait, was it during the pandemic? It definitely was us.
Yeah. And it took me like 5 minutes to figure it out. You guys just kept telling me I was a Republican. You're like, you act like you're a liberal, but we all know deep down you're a Republican. I was like, Harper?
And that's why you
And then you guys hung up. Right when I said y'all's name, you guys hung up. It was really funny.
So join us on Patreon for more of that.
For our dazzling wit.
Yeah.
Join us on Patreon where you get an extra hour every week. LOL, it's so cute. And please subscribe where you listen. Follow us on Instagram. That's where we release the prompts every week. Please unfollow us on Twitter. I don't know how to delete that account and I hate it. And if you like this show, tell a friend. Send this show to your boss. Send this to someone who keeps their cookies in their ass. Send this to a friend that needs / is already in 12-step. We love you. Thank you guys for listening.
Bye.